So, Joe, a big day for yourself as you reach 400 games and also finish your career. How does it feel?
Um, Quite sad. Last couple of days. Um, Happy as well. Very grateful. Been fortunate enough to have a good career over the last 20 years at the level I've played at. Had good memories. Won my fair share of trophies and medals. Met loads of great people along the way. So I would probably be a bit emotional there with my family and that being here. But try and think in the happy side. And think of the good times and how fortunate I've been to have the career that I've
So, you mentioned there that you've played for 20 years. Can you remember back to your debut game?
had. I think I was 17 at Ross County, and the first team goalkeeper, Stuart Garden, got injured after about 25 minutes. I was only a young kid, obviously, on the bench, and my backside collapsed. I had to get ready very quickly. It was a bit of a baptism of fire. I don't really remember much about the game. I think we drew 2-2. It was with St Johnstone, and the equalising goal in the 90th minute was scored by the St Johnstone goalkeeper. So that's, yeah, I was never going to forget that. That was my debut.
So, where did your love of football come from growing up?
My dad, he's always football, football, football. My dad, started playing as early as I could walk, I think. My dad taking me to my first boys' club, and then obviously take me to watch football as well. We were Celtic fans growing up. My dad took me most games home and away. We always had a season ticket, so it just kind of blossomed for a really young age. And then I just loved it at a young age, and it just kind of progressed from there, going for boys' clubs, growing up, and then obviously progressing in the career to where I am today.
So, you started off at Celtic, your boyhood club. That must be an amazing feeling.
It was really good. You probably didn't realise how good a thing it was at the time. But to play as a young kid at the club you supported for all your life was amazing. Looking back now, we get treated so well there. We're always away playing tournaments abroad and things like that. And like I said, you probably didn't appreciate it at that time, but looking back, it was great memories as well. It was a really good upbringing. You get a good grounding in the game, and get taught a lot of good things at an early age. So I'm really thankful for that opportunity as well.
Yeah. So, in that squad, what players would have been there?
Probably the most notable, Simon Ferry was there in the squad, our youth squad, with guys like Paul Caddis. Um, we used to always train with the teams a year or two above us as well on school holidays and things. Got the opportunity to train with guys like David Marshall, Aidan McGeady, Darren O'Dea as well. So there was quite a few big hitters, although you didn't know at the time that we're not going to have a really good career. So it was good to be involved in that type of environment as well, with players like that who were at that age. They were, especially Aidan McGee, they were just on another planet. To your standard player. So yeah, it was good.
And what players in that squad would you say were big influences on you?
Big influence on me. It probably wasn't players at that time that were the influence. It was probably more coaches. At a young age, there was a guy, Martin Miller, at Celtic, who was phenomenal with the young kids there, and the way he taught you how to kind of look after the ball and from a technique point of view and things like that. The first team goalkeeper coach at the time, Terry Geno, was great with me as well. The goalkeepers all used to train together. We'd train with the full-time guys and that, even though we were only young, 13, 14-year-old or what. He always looked after us. He always got us tickets for big games and things like that as well, which was good. So that was probably from that time, that would probably have been the two biggest influences from then.
So, how did your move to Ross County come about?
Um, just before my 15th birthday, I got told that I wasn't getting a full-time contract at Celtic. So it was a case of kind of, what do you do next? I think my dad probably wrote a letter to every club in Scotland. I had a few trials here and there with different clubs, a couple of clubs on my doorstep, and then I had a 3-day trial up at Ross County. Come up, and I really enjoyed it. And I don't know what made me do it. It's just one of those things that was probably fate. But it was looking back now, it was a really strange decision from me because I'd never been away from my parents or away from home. And there was an opportunity for me to go to Hamilton, which was on my doorstep. So something must have just felt right at the time to to come up here, and to be fair, it was probably the best decision I ever made, because it really made me grow up quickly, moving away from my family. So it was good.
And see, being such a young age, being told by Celtic that you're being let go, how was that?
It was horrible. I can still remember my dad coming home for the meeting and with the coaches to get that news. He came home and told me. I think he was actually a wee bit more upset than I was at the time, but it's like the end of the world when you're a kid of that age. 15 years old, you think your whole career's done. That was all I wanted with Celtic. You realise that that's a small percentage of people that can achieve that dream of your boyhood club, especially a club like that. So it was just a case of on to the next chapter then, and my dad trying to pick me up and get the head up and go again.
So after Ross County, you had spells with Elgin before moving to Brora, where you spent the majority of your career. How did you find it there, along with playing in the Highland League?
Elgin was great. It was short periods I had at Elgin. I had a couple of loan spells there when I was younger. Robbie Williamson actually took me there. He was fantastic with me. Looked after me really well. And then when I left Ross County, I had a 6-month spell at Elgin. The draw at the time there was Rangers were in the league, so that's why I wanted to do that. I kind of knew in my own head that Highland League was going to be longer term for me after the 6 months at Elgin, but it was good to go and get a couple of games against Rangers. I got one at Ibrox as well, which was probably one of the career highlights, to be able to experience a full house there. So that the experience at Elgin was really good because of that, and then obviously moving on to Brora for the next few years, it was great as well. A lot of success in the Highland League, and the Highland League's been good, great league over the last 12 years I've been in it, so I've really enjoyed it.
Did you think you'd be as successful as you would be when you're at Brora?
I don't know. I don't really know what I was thinking. It was that the project where they were trying to build something from nothing. They hadn't won a trophy for 20 odd years. They wanted to go and dominate the Highland League. It was that part that I liked. I liked what they were doing in terms of who they were signing. Gavin Morrison signed at the same time as me as well. We were both at Elgin together. So you obviously want that success. But looking back, we probably should have had more success, so that's probably a wee bit of a disappointment. But again, this is something like 12, 13 trophies I won in the 11 years there. So again, very thankful to have those opportunities and be able to have those memories in the bank now.
So looking back on your career, who would you consider the best player you've played with?
It's a hard question. There's been a few. I think Paul Lawson's right up there. Paul Lawson's very, very good. He's obviously manager of Banks of Dee now. Ian Vigers as well was top at Ross County, also at Banks of Dee. Two very good players there. They're probably two for the Ross County days that stick out as technically really, really good players. And obviously they went on to do a wee bit higher than Ross County, going to Motherwell as well. They had very good careers. And then both dropped down into the Highland League a wee bit latterly as well. So those probably two that stick out as two of the better ones for sure.
Now moving on to Clark, how have you found this last year with us?
It's been brilliant. I've loved it. I've really loved it. I was finished this time last year, or I thought I was, until I got in touch with, or Connor got in touch with me. I don't know. I probably still had a wee bit to prove to me. I wanted to come and prove myself that I could get another 20 odd games again, and I've managed to do that. It's probably something to prove to myself rather than other people. What I didn't expect was how good a club it would be. Again, it was similar to when I first joined Brora. It's a project. The club's on the up. It's made me feel young again, which is great. I've been fortunate enough to meet so many brilliant people involved with the club. And not that I want to say this, but yourself, Dan, and you, Connor, are two of those people that I've been fortunate enough to get to know on a personal level. Sean, Reese, the coaching staff, everybody involved with the club. The way that everybody's looked after me personally, my family. People probably don't think it's a big deal, but to me it has. It's been really nice. And again, I'm just thankful for the last year. I've loved every minute of it. Would just love to have been on the park probably a wee bit more, but some things you can't control. But I've been fortunate to play, I think, 22, 23 games. So I'm quite happy with that, and it's been a brilliant experience. I'm so glad I've done it.
So what's next for Joe Malin?
I've bit of downtime with my family, get a few Saturdays back over the next few weeks, and who knows, I might not be too far away next season. I might be here in some capacity, so we'll see. We'll let the season get out of the way first, and we'll see what happens.
Well, Joe, from everyone at Clough and Caddon, congratulations on an incredible career.
Thanks very much, guys.